I'm your ice cream man, baby. Stop me when I'm passing by.
There's always that.
And that's how this episode begins. Welcome to Harleys,
And Hairspray.
where we giggle for no apparent reason, but the reason actually is before we press the record button, and now that we don't edit, we're not going to rewind because the moment is gone. But here we are. Hey, you're Tina.
I am Tina in this moment.
That's right. And I'm Alex. I have been Alex for several moments, and I continue to be Alex. And these are conversations about art, and apparently from our last episode, relationships too.
Yeah, given our surrender, what life looks like when you surrender your heart to art. What does
Yes.
that look like? And all the questions around that. Okay, so in our last episode, we sort of tiptoed into this conversation that ended, but I loved it, which was about how music, how music for you is like imprints moments
Absolutely.
for you. And I thought it might be fun as a way to start the conversation is what are some of your favorite music imprints? And we can also then go into why do you think that happens? But let's just start with favorite music imprints.
Absolutely. So when I was in high school, Mom and I watched Days of Our Lives. It was our time together, and my favorite couple was Bo and Hope.
Oh.
She was lovely and olive-skinned and dark, and she was like the kind of woman I'm typically drawn to. And he was a leather-jacketed, goateed, ear-pierced in the 80s, bike-riding dude, super softy but cool and rugged. And every time there was a relationship moment, a romantic moment between Bo and Hope, they played Mr. Mr. Broken Wings. Take these broken wings. So I'm just going to go off the top in no particular sequence.
Love it!
High school dance. I was invited by a grade 12 girl. I was in grade 11, so I was really punching up and out of my league. I was invited to her high school dance, mostly because I think I was entertaining and I could dance, and she couldn't find that combo in a grade 12 person.
Yeah.
So she invited me, and of course I was telling all my friends, hey, I know we're in grade 11, but I'm going to the prom, grade 12, baby. And Journey's Faithfully was playing as the last slow dance. And what's imprinted on me is this... Yeah, this story about how, because I fancied myself to be a musician, and the plot of the song is, my life is all gigging and being on the road, but I still keep you close to my heart. And here I am just down this lonely highway, but my every thought is of you, and I will be yours faithfully. And I was romancing this life of me, the musician, and this girl that I had a crush on. And I was singing this song was singing our story.
Wow.
And then I noticed as Journey's Faithfully was playing that in fact I wasn't moving. My hands were on her glutes, and we were standing just in one position, rocking back and forth like you do in high school, that kind of one step waddle.
Yeah.
So Faithfully, obviously. One other song that this is a big one. For me, Maxwell's Fortunate. It was my first written, oddly enough, by Maxwell and R. Kelly, but a great song, and Maxwell has an amazing voice. But it was our first dance with my ex-wife and I, who gave me my two incredible, beautiful babies, who are now skyscrapers. But the song was all about how this man admitting and gushing that he's so fortunate, he truly appreciates and doesn't take any moment for granted that this woman is in his world, and all of he's just a waterfall of emotions because he's just a raw nerve because he appreciates his good fortune for this woman. So many, many moments, and then my earliest memory. I grew up in a Jewish household, and my Yiddish grandmother, whenever she would be happy, or her lullaby and her celebration song were the same song. I think she could only sing one song, but whether it was a party and she had a glass of wine and she wanted to be the center of attention, or she was putting me to sleep, she would sing, "Tuli luli luli, tuli luli loo," and she had that sort of the way a rabbi sings. They're not trained, but they're firm, and they've lived.
Right.
I could never duplicate it, but it was guttural. It came from the Cold War and World War II and Mother Russia and anti-Semitism survival. and she would sing that, and she would do the hands, and her eyes would always sparkle. I could give you 1,000 more examples,
Wow.
but from my earliest memories of my grandmother's lullaby to my wedding, first dance, and a million things in between, and also when I first played in my cover band, my very first cover band, and all of the things, trying to play Runaway by Bon Jovi by ear, not knowing what that meant because I was typing dots on a page prior to that. Who knew that Runaway by Bon Jovi would open up the world of lifting music by ear to me, which now
Wow.
is a passion of mine and a specialty of mine, and something I encourage
Lifting music by ear.
Yeah, instead of typing the dots, because when you type the dots, you don't understand the architecture.
Mm.
But when you lift things by ear, you're forced to see the patterns that music makes and why they work. So a million examples, but everything musical to me comes with an imprint. There was one particular example. There was something from Oklahoma. I knew kind of the highlights of Oklahoma,
Yeah.
but this was a bit of a hidden gem from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I wasn't
which
familiar
one?
with it. I don't know,
Oh, okay.
because it scared me.
Oh.
Yeah, it came with a chart, and I was hired to be a pianist for people that were coming into audition
Okay,
for a play,
yeah.
for a musical. And they would put their chart in front of me, and this is a song
Okay.
they know. So they
Right.
sing something like Oklahoma, or, when you're a jet all the way. But it was that kind of, it was complicated. The chords moved quickly, but it was something
Wow.
I'd never heard before. They put this chart in front of me,
Oh.
and they know the song, and they start singing, and I can't keep up, and I'm ruining their audition.
Right.
And so something about the musical Oklahoma, it's now just a blanket statement about Oklahoma. It reminds me so much of being such a poor accompanist for that audition, and how much learning I still had to do,
Right.
and how in my area of strength, which was playing the piano, I felt completely weak and handicapped musically. I couldn't do it. I just broke down. And after a while, I was just playing single notes, hoping I would at least find something that resonated with the vocal line. It was horrible. And I felt myself, I don't blush often, but I was sweating, my face was red. Everything that resonates for me in terms of my pivotal experiences, whether they be good or bad, are joined by a musical imprint. A myriad of examples. Everything. That's an emotional roller coaster. I'm exhausted.
That was amazing.
Everything. From Maxwell to Oklahoma in all parts, and take my broken wings.
Do you hear that? Like,
Is that your phone in the
meep,
distance? I think that's your phone ringing. Somebody wants
maybe
you.
I've got an alarm. Maybe my alarm is set for something. I don't know. But either way, you can't hear it, so we'll just take it.
The alarm is
That was my-
telling you to tell your story.
There we go. But first, I want to reflect back to you that what I heard you say is, first off, that story is a big part of the imprint for you. The music is playing, but the song has a story that lines up with whatever's going on.
Exactly.
And it was really interesting because I was reflecting for myself, like, does story even matter? I'm like, I don't think it does. That's so interesting. But the words, like the lyrics, really matter. And then you had a couple of other examples where it wasn't about the lyrics. It was about it was still story though. It was like what was going on in the moment, the story of the moment.
That's right.
And how that music was part of that moment. I think that's really fascinating.
But the moments were all impactful. I mean, having that
Yes.
time with my grandmother,
Oh,
failing as an accompanist and letting down an auditionee who'd been rehearsing for a
Yes.
month, all of those moments were so pivotal. They made such a
Right.
dent on my psyche.
they were pivotal. That's an interesting piece
Pivotal.
for you too.
That's why this is kind of the way I live. I think music is the way that I live. I don't, and I think we've had this brief discussion in the past. I don't believe in the generic. I think you should be impacted. You should have a
Right.
response.
Yeah.
It either needs to be amazing or this is horrific, but if it's just in the middle treading water,
Yeah.
it doesn't resonate with me. The extremes resonate with me.
Yeah.
With my hairstyle, right? I had a mullet that was mid back.
Yeah.
And I went to my
It went that far?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
I've seen the mullet picture. I just didn't realize how long
it was a Latino Jerry curl. No, it was fantastic. But it went from this extreme
Yeah.
to I'm a bald man now. There was nothing in between. I can't.
Oh.
This is why I can never date a woman who has a bob. I don't understand that personality type.
I know.
You need to be extreme. Give me either long hair, Cher on the back of a horse, or a mohawk, or whatever. But make a statement, damn it. Stop being safe. Make a statement. Oh, I'm so worked up over this. Don't you think?
I do.
God damn it.
I do think.
Stand for something or stand for nothing. Stand for something.
So where can we take this conversation for our listeners? I'm going to the imprint and the importance of art and the impact of art. Like, I want you listening to really think about or consider, how artful are you letting yourself live? How artful, like if you let yourself pay attention to the things that imprint with you, I guarantee you they'll be connected to some form of art or the other. And I often say to people, when people say, oh, I wish I could do that, whatever that is, I'm like, listen, if you didn't have that in you yourself already, you wouldn't be able to see it.
That's right.
So if there's some piece of art that's impacting you and you can feel it, then that art already lives inside of you, because it's kind of like a language. I can't understand Chinese because I don't have it inside me. Mm-hmm. Right? So if I'm watching a piece of art that grabs me, whatever it is, it's the swooping music, the cinematography, the whatever, then whatever it is that has grabbed me is already here. I just may not have the skill to create it.
That color's already on your canvas.
Yeah.
All you have to do is connect with the color that's out there on other canvases.
Because you can see the color. You're like, I have that. I know that blue because you already got it.
There was such a salient argument right to this point. This is a huge point. So in my younger days, I used to go to Kabbalah to pick up girls. So Kabbalah is the study of mystical Judaism.
You said it like it was a destination. And I was like, does he mean Shambhala?
No. I actually went to Kabbalah courses. And this was at a rabbi's house.
Okay.
But I would go there for all the wrong reasons. I thought I was an atheist who was picking up girls by arguing with the rabbi during the rabbinical study. I was there to show my prowess and walk away with the ladies from Kabbalah class. But the ladies were fine, but I actually started really enjoying the Kabbalah discussions. And I realized, I love this because it's so rich. And so at one point we were having a conversation about God and the absence of God. And the rabbi, and while you can go back and forth, and we won't hear, the rabbi said something very interesting. Why would the human condition throughout time, historically, imagine something that didn't have the possibility of being? In other words, if we can talk about it, think about it, visualize it, fantasize about it, describe it, talk about it, there must be something in the ether, in the universe, that represents it. Otherwise, how would we as humans have the capacity to even go there? Because we don't know what we don't know. But if we think we know, isn't that based on the possibility that it exists in the universe? Which is exactly the point we're trying to make.
Totally.
If you resonate with something, you say, I can't sing, I'm tone deaf. Oh, really? So you've recognized that you have a dysfunction? Most people don't even recognize that they have that. So if you can recognize that, welcome to the first step of the ladder that will elevate you to health.
Wow.
Right now, you are not easy. You have a dis-ease. Well, but you can recognize it. Let's climb the ladders of dis and take you somewhere where you're no longer seeing yourself as tone deaf, because you're probably not even tone deaf anyway.
No, your body will feel it and hear it.
You've assigned that to yourself. Now that's the jacket you wear. So stop the conversation. But if you can feel it, if you can sense it, you must have the capacity and the awareness to work with it somehow. Cerebrally, emotionally, physically. By validating it, even in your fantasy life, you are validating the potential of its existence. And that's what Rabbi Shmuley taught me. Did I walk out with a girl that night? I don't remember. But do I remember Rabbi Shmuley's salient point? Darn tootin'.
Rabbi Shmuley delivered.
Rabbi Shmuley brought the heat that night. He offered me the little red ribbon. I'm like, Rabbi Shmuley, what you have just given me will last so much longer than a red ribbon that will get wet in the shower. Rabbi Shmuley. He brought it to me that night. Aww. And I carry that with me.
I bet.
And then all of a sudden, several decades later, you come with if you have the imprint, it must exist in the universe. Connect with that,
Yep.
which is already inside of you.
Yep.
Hey, girl. Come on, Rabbi Shmuley would be proud.
Oh, yeah.
In this episode, you are Rabbi Shmuley. And I'm just the student. You are Rabbi Shmuley.
Oh, come on.
You're schmooling your way to the top.
You know what I love? I'm schmooling my way to the
Right
top.
Hey, Rabbi Shmuley, wherever you are,
I
represent.
love that. I'm schmooling my way to the top. I loved your grandmother's fingers.
Yeah, it was always, she was almost Italian, but Yiddish.
Oh.
And then she would take the same hand, the same position of the hand. She
Yeah.
would open it up and she would grab my cheeks and she would say, Shayna Punam, which means cute little face. And then she would tuck me into bed. Or if it was at a party and she was showing off her delightful grandson, she would sing and then go, but louder, Shayna Punam, look at this Shayna Punam. And then she would go off and eat matzah or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I got the Shayna Punam. And if you ask my children, they'll know. They know what's up.
That's
the Shayna Punam, because they got the same treatment.
Did you do that to them? Did you?
No,
Your mom.
It was my grandma's
Your
move.
grandma did it to your boy?
It was her move.
I know,
So-
but did your mom pick up on it and do it
No.
to your boys?
No, so
Oh.
so that was exclusively my grandma's domain,
Okay.
and nobody touched that. It was her move. It was her move.
No, but it was her move.
She had ownership of that move and the song. Nobody could really duplicate it. It came from.
It came from, yeah.
It's that, she's lived. Nobody's lived that life. She has ownership. This is how we showed great grandma, my grandma, that she was truly seen. You were talking about being seen. We respected her space so much. No matter how silly we thought it was or how trite, that's not the point. You have earned the right to be seen and own that thing. Own it. We can't touch it. We haven't lived that kind of life. You deserve to be silly and giddy and soulful and Shayna Punam. That's not. We're not skilled. We haven't earned that degree.
What is that song from? I haven't earned that degree. I can hear. It'll come. Oh, what is that song?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. It's a musical theater song. I'm sure it is.
Oh,
That's
is that
my
your phone drumming?
phone telling me that we're going to end this episode.
Which is
right
great. Folks, think about your imprints. By the way, hit us back. And if you want any of our merchandise, we have none available. But as you go through our many episodes, see what you like and let us know.
now. I'm Sheryl Crow right now.
There you
Use
go.
That song that starts like that.
I'm
Okay.
leaving Las Vegas, and we're leaving this episode. See ya.
Let me call you one time. You'll be my regular style.